Have you ever felt like life is running ahead of you? Like your miracle is always just out of reach? What if everything you've been told about time is a subtle lie, woven so deeply into your perception that it quietly shapes every choice you make? The story we tell ourselves is that time moves forward in a straight line, that the past is behind, the future somewhere ahead, waiting for us to arrive after we've healed enough, learned enough, suffered enough. But what if the miracle you chase isn't down the road at all? What if it's beside you or even within reach right now? This isn't a metaphor. Quantum physics tells us time is not a line. Classical physics insists cause precedes effect, but at the quantum level, cause and effect blur. All moments exist simultaneously. Every version of you, the one who faltered, the one who surrendered, the one who transcended, coexists in what physicists call a superposition of states. Literally, not figuratively. But just knowing this doesn't guarantee you'll experience it. Most people are trapped in autopilot, replaying old memories and conditioned emotions, endlessly cycling through the past while believing they're moving forward. Different faces, same story. Different goals, same limitations. Their identity is anchored in linear time, and as long as they believe time is something to chase, their miracle will always feel out of reach. Think about it. When you set an intention to heal, to succeed, to love, where do you place it? In the future, floating out there somewhere later, turning it into a distant dream. That act of projecting forward collapses you into a timeline where it is always not yet. That is not manifestation. That is energetic self-sabotage disguised as hope. Quantum physics refuses this linear model. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle tells us you cannot fix both the position and velocity of a particle at the same moment. In plain terms, the moment you try to predict your future, you change it. And the observer, you, becomes a determinant of what forms into reality. Time is not flowing past you. You are flowing through a multidimensional field, tuning into coordinates according to your consciousness. Here's the deeper revelation. Time isn't linear. It's vibrational. Every possible version of your life exists as a distinct frequency within the quantum field. Your miracle doesn't unfold along a timeline, it unfolds through alignment. The question isn't when it will arrive, but whether you are coherent with it or resisting it. Spiritual teachers and quantum scientists converge here. Neville Goddard said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that your electromagnetic field shifts when your thoughts and emotions align with a desired reality. They are not being poetic. They are precise. Your body, your nervous system, your heart rhythm, your brain waves are the radio tower tuning into timelines. Every thought sends a signal. Every emotion amplifies it. Every belief either aligns or distorts it completely. Imagine a mirror maze. Each reflection a different version of you, some broken, some radiant. You are not moving through time, you are moving through versions. Every shift in your vibration reveals a new reflection. But if you linger in the mirrors of not enough, not ready, too late, the same limitation keeps appearing, just in new disguises. Here is the pattern interrupt. Time is not the obstacle, identity is. You don't need more time to become who you already are. You need presence. The paradox: the more you chase, the more you delay, the more you allow, the more you align. Most people overthink, overanalyze, trying to earn what was always meant to be received. They trap themselves in a timeline of effort and exhaustion, blind to the timeline of their miracle, which exists now but is invisible through their current vibration. The real quantum shift is collapsing the version of you that keeps choosing delay. Your miracle doesn't require time. It requires a new relationship with time, one where you become the frequency of the already done. And when you do, everything changes. When you stop handing your power to a future that never arrives, something remarkable happens. Time stops feeling like a ruler you must obey and begins to move with you. Unexpected doors open. People cross your path offering answers to questions you haven't spoken yet. Synchronicities cluster around you like soft markers from a reality you didn't realize you were already stepping into. Not because you pushed, but because you finally matched its frequency. And this is only the threshold. Because the moment you recognize the future isn't waiting somewhere ahead, you start sensing the presence of something ancient and intelligent moving through your field, not distant, not delayed, but speaking to you in the quiet spaces of now. In the next layer of this journey, you'll understand what that whisper truly is. A vibrational imprint already shaped, already complete, already yours, if you know how to select it. Within the quantum field lives a tapestry of every possibility you've ever reached for and countless more your mind has never entertained, a landscape where your healing, your expansion, your abundance, your deepest longing all exist, not as dreams, not as half-formed wishes, but as finished frequencies waiting for resonance, not waiting in time, waiting in vibration. You're not here to build these realities from scratch in the way the world has taught you. You're here to tune into what already exists. This isn't abstract mysticism, it's science. In quantum mechanics, particles don't occupy a single place until consciousness observes them. Until then, they are waves, pure potential, infinite probability. What collapses them into matter is the moment awareness meets possibility. That collapse is where your desire lives, not as something to pursue, but as a wave waiting for you to choose it. In traditional thinking, you imagine your dream and then climb toward it, step by step. But in quantum terms, all versions of that dream already exist with different levels of coherence. Some messy, some luminous, some beyond imagination. They aren't hidden behind effort. They're simply inaccessible when your frequency doesn't match. You're not becoming the version who holds the miracle. You're remembering how to echo their vibration. Here lies the turning point. The field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are. Your morning emotion, your default identity, your silent assumptions, these form the energetic signature you broadcast. Your mind may say, "I want to heal," while your inner state whispers, "I'm still wounded." And the quantum responds not to your request, but to the signal beneath it. This is why manifesting becomes frustrating when viewed through a purely emotional or spiritual lens. People believe they're attracting what they wish for, yet their internal frequency reinforces distance. Wanting and being are not the same. Until your internal chemistry shifts to reflect the version who already holds the outcome, the field has no reason to crystallize a new reality. Think of it this way. You're not programming the universe like software. You're adjusting a radio. The songs already exist. Your job is to find the station. And here's a secret most people overlook. Your desire isn't random. The longing you feel is a signal, less a need, more a memory, an echo from a version of you that already lives in fulfillment. The ache of wanting is not emptiness. It's resonance. It's the subtle friction between who you are today and the frequency of a truth already active elsewhere in the field. That's why desire feels charged. You're brushing against a timeline already unfolding. But if you cling to your current narrative, your limits, your pain, your past, you remain tuned to a station that cannot broadcast your miracle. This is where ancient teachings meet quantum precision. When mystics like Neville Goddard spoke of living in the end, they weren't preaching blind faith. They were describing the collapse of probability. To embody the feeling of the fulfilled desire is to instruct the field to organize around your chosen timeline. And the moment you sincerely inhabit that version, the field must reflect it. But here's where most people stumble. They affirm, they visualize, they attempt to feel as if, yet underneath they still see themselves as lacking. And the field listens not to surface thoughts, but to the subtle frequency beneath. If your body still carries the emotional codes of scarcity, fear, or urgency, the dominant signal isn't "I have," it's "I'm trying." And trying delays collapse. This is the piece the logical mind struggles to grasp. You cannot collapse a new reality from a place of needing it. You can only collapse it from a state of already being it. But how do you embody fullness when your senses contradict it? When money is tight, when your heart aches, when love hasn't arrived? You stop debating with the field. You stop using your five senses as proof. You start using your state of being as instruction. You become a vibrational exception. Someone willing to feel aligned while circumstances remain unchanged, not out of delusion, but out of coherence. Because in the quantum world, energy precedes form. And when you can sustain the signal, even while nothing appears different, the reflection begins to bend. That's when the shift begins. That's when synchronicities rise to meet you. People appear in your life you could never have planned for. Ideas flow effortlessly, perfectly aligned, as if the universe itself were composing a symphony around you. It's not because you figured it out, it's because you tuned in. The field is intelligent. It responds to coherence, not effort. This is why Joe Dispenza emphasizes heart-brain alignment. When your electromagnetic field resonates, you become a coherent signal within the quantum landscape, and coherent signals collapse probability faster. This is measurable, not mystical. Most still miss the deeper point. Manifestation isn't about chasing one thing, money, love, success. It's about remembering you are a timeline selector, not a timeline builder. You aren't constructing a bridge brick by brick. You are shifting the frequency that determines which bridge you are already walking on. Your desire is not something to acquire. It is something to align with. The only reason it feels distant is that you are still reaching for what you are meant to radiate. The real question is no longer how to make it happen. The question is, what version of you is it already true for? That version isn't imaginary. It exists, alive, real. A slightly higher vibration of you, one shift, one decision away. Here is where most people fall into the trap. They repeat affirmations, visualize outcomes, try to feel as if, yet beneath it all, they still identify as someone who lacks. The field doesn't respond to words, thoughts, or visions. It responds to your state of being. Every moment your body emits a frequency, a signal formed by the harmony or dissonance of your thoughts and emotions. When thinking abundance but feeling doubt, your signal becomes static, incoherent. The field doesn't read desires, it reads coherence. Dr. Joe calls this neurochemical alignment. Your brain predicts, your body records the past. When you wake in stress, replay memories, review problems, you're broadcasting yesterday's signal. That familiar frequency becomes your default portal, leading you back to the same timeline, same outcomes, same limits. Your nervous system is loyal to identity. Even if your mind dreams of change, your body clings to the known. Survival favors familiarity, even if painful, over unknown miracles. So when you attempt to shift into joy, worthiness, peace, resistance arises. That isn't the universe pushing back, it's the old self withdrawing. Let that sink in. Discomfort is not failure. It is the signal of transformation. Quantum mechanics shows us why. Just as observation collapses particles into form, your dominant state becomes the lens through which the field collapses outcomes. You are not watching the world. You are generating it. Neville Goddard said, "Your assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact." This is not spiritual optimism. It is neurological programming. Assuming a new state prunes old synapses, strengthens new ones. Your heart rhythm shifts. Your field broadcasts a new signal. The quantum responds not to your intentions, but to your transmission. Imagine a radio attempting 98.7 FM while broadcasting 88.1. The songs exist, but you hear only static. Most manifestation attempts are like this: broadcasting one signal while trying to receive another. Desire exists. The problem is being the version who receives it. Becoming the signal means living from the version who already has it. Choosing the state first, even when circumstances lag. Activating gratitude before evidence. Embodying certainty before proof. Stepping into joy before outcomes. This is not delusion, it is frequency leadership. And yes, it feels unnatural at first, because you are dismantling decades of old programming. Even for a few seconds of coherence, the shift begins, and with coherence comes magnetism. Research from the HeartMath Institute shows that the heart's electromagnetic field is thousands of times stronger than the brain's when the heart and mind synchronize. When thought and emotion converge, you emit a coherent signal the quantum field responds to like a tuning fork. This isn't magic, it's mechanics, and its implications are life-altering. Because once you become that signal, once you inhabit the version instead of reaching for them, the field no longer sees a seeker. It sees a match, and matches are magnetic. Timelines don't unfold through action alone. They unfold through vibrational permission. But here's the twist few anticipate. Tuning in once isn't the transformation. The shift is not a moment, it's a muscle. This is where neuroscience intersects with initiation. The longer you hold the new state, despite old stories, despite triggers, despite the absence of evidence, the more your brain rewires, the more your body adapts, the more the signal stabilizes. Eventually, the old identity loses its grip, not through force, but through frequency decay. Your job is not to destroy your past. Your job is to starve it. Every moment you choose presence over panic, clarity over confusion, trust over control, you starve the vibration of delay and feed the vibration of alignment. This is the real alchemy, not turning lead into gold, but turning state into signal and signal into shift. And now we stand at the edge of the most important truth yet. Becoming the signal is only half the journey. Once you inhabit that frequency, you gain the power to shift timelines, not metaphorically, but literally. Soon you begin to collapse your current trajectory, alter your vibration, and step into a reality that has been waiting for you, not in time, but in resonance. On every path of spiritual awakening, there comes a moment when the question is no longer if it's possible, but how soon you are willing to embody it. That moment marks a threshold, not of effort, but of embodiment. Those who cross it do so not by striving, but by shifting their frequency. This is the art of timeline jumping, collapsing the gap between who you are now and the version you are becoming. Not through more action, but through vibrating differently. In quantum mechanics, particles exist in superposition, holding multiple potential outcomes simultaneously. Only observation collapses them into one reality. Now imagine this at the level of your life. You are not moving through time selecting outcomes. You are vibrating through possibilities, choosing realities. This is functional, not poetic. You do not wait for the miracle to arrive. You arrive in the frequency where it already exists. This shift does not come from acquiring more knowledge. It comes from interrupting identity. Most people unknowingly reinforce their current timeline, reactivating the same personality, the same emotions, habits, and beliefs every day. They re-enter a frequency tuned to limitation, lack, or waiting. Vision boards and meditations cannot change this if the signal remains unchanged. Here is the pattern interrupt. You do not need to become better to shift timelines. You need to become vibrationally different. Transformation begins with a decision. The moment you refuse to invest emotionally in the old identity, you fracture the loop. You disrupt the signal, and the universe begins reorganizing around the new frequency you embody. At first, this reorganization often looks like chaos, lost jobs, shifting relationships, emotional release. Not because something is failing, but because the outdated is collapsing. Neuroscience confirms this through neuroplasticity. The brain rewires continuously. Every thought, choice, and feeling carves a new pathways. When you consciously feel abundance, peace, or love without needing external proof, you are firing a new version of yourself into existence, a self that attracts rather than chases. Over time, this neural signature becomes your default identity, but you must remain in the fire long enough to let the old bridges burn. This is where most falter. They desire a new reality while holding on to the emotions of the old. Survival-based emotions, fear, guilt, resentment, cannot exist in a timeline built on coherence and joy. They do not resonate. If you carry the old story, you are ejected from the frequency like static interrupting a clear signal. The question becomes, what are you willing to stop rehearsing? Which emotions are you ready to retire? Which version of yourself will you stop energizing? The moment you cease repeating pain, doubt, and waiting, you no longer vote for the timeline where that is the norm. You activate the version of yourself who does not just believe in the miracle, but lives it. This is how time begins to collapse, not through urgency, but through vibrational velocity. The more coherent your signal, the faster the quantum field responds. This is not control, it is congruence. The timeline already exists, but only one version of you holds the vibrational key. When you become that version emotionally, somatically, and neurologically, the door doesn't open. It vanishes. You are no longer outside trying to enter, you are already inside. Effort is not alignment. Timeline jumping has nothing to do with high performance. It is an act of energetic permission. You do not climb your way into a better future. You simply stop blocking what is already here. And what blocks it is not lack. It is loyalty. Loyalty to a self-image shaped in survival. Loyalty to beliefs inherited from people who never realized they were dreaming inside a programmed world. Loyalty to patterns that felt safe but never satisfied. That loyalty must break. The program must be interrupted. The signal must be updated. The field does not respond to what you wish for. It mirrors the identity you continually fund with your attention. Attention is currency in the quantum, and whatever you invested in expands. So reclaim it. Pull your attention away from what has not happened, from who has not changed, from what is missing or delayed. Withdraw your energy from the version of you still waiting for permission and redirect it into the one who has already chosen, the one who already lives, breathes, and emanates the next level. That version is real. The only reason you can feel this message is because you are already linked to them. You are not becoming, you are remembering. And now it is time to act. If you truly intend to shift timelines, here is your first micro jump. Declare it. Anchor it with identity. Write, I am no longer waiting. I am tuning in. Because that declaration marks the shift. The timeline of your miracle does not depend on what changes around you. It depends on what changes within you. And when you embody the new state, the signal sharpens, the noise falls away, and you become magnetically incompatible with anything beneath your next evolution. In the next chapter, we dismantle the final illusion, the myth of delay. You will see that nothing is missing, your miracle is not late, and time is not your enemy, but your echo. You have been told to wait, to trust divine timing, to believe that the universe is arranging the right people in the right moments. And while comforting, here is the unfiltered truth. The delay you feel is not divine timing. It is vibrational misalignment. Your miracle is not late. It is inaccessible to the version of you who believes it is. Let's strip this down. The Newtonian model taught us that reality is cause and effect. You act, you wait, you receive. But the quantum model dissolves that sequence. Reality is not created in order. It is selected in resonance. The field does not require time to deliver your desire. It requires coherence, and coherence can emerge instantly. The sensation of delay is not caused by time, but by dissonance. Your conscious mind may say yes, but if your subconscious holds patterns of doubt, fear, or scarcity, you feel the gap between what you want and what you are being. This is not punishment, it is feedback. The field is not withholding, it is reflecting. You are not waiting on the universe. You are waiting on the version of yourself who aligns with the miracle. Here's the paradox that traps most people. The more you believe your desire is far away, the more you attach to the identity that does not have it. You begin narrating its absence. It is not here, I must be blocked. Maybe I am not ready. Each thought votes for a timeline where the miracle remains distant. But consider this. The instant you feel something is missing, you shift out of the timeline where it was fulfilled. That is the delay illusion. Not that the miracle is unavailable, but that you have stepped out of resonance with the version of you who already received it. Quantum entanglement reveals that particles remain connected across vast distances. Shift one and the other responds instantly, even across galaxies. You and your miracle are connected in the same way. They are not separate. But when you identify as the one who lacks, you collapse the timeline where it is real. The pattern interrupt is this. What if nothing is missing? What if everything you seek exists now, simply vibrating just out of phase with your current state? If so, your task is not to pursue the desire, but to become the version of you for whom it is inevitable. This is where the ancient teaching of letting go becomes precise. Letting go is not abandoning the desire. It is releasing the version of you who needed it. It's releasing the version of yourself that believes it isn't already real. It's letting go of the emotional code of separation. The moment you stop needing it, you stop vibrating at not having it, and the gap collapses. Dr. Bruce Lipton teaches that your biology reflects your subconscious programming, but it goes even further than that. Your perception dictates the biochemical signals your body broadcasts into the field. When you feel frustration, impatience, or the sense of not being there yet, your body transmits frequencies of lack, tension, and urgency. The quantum responds not to the timeline you want, but to the chemistry you embody. So how do you shift? You end the waiting loop by dissolving the belief that there is anything to wait for. You stop orienting your identity towards someday and start inhabiting already. Not as performance, not as forced positivity, but as an inner knowing that the field is instantaneous and only your identity is lagging behind. Imagine the quantum like a vast jukebox holding infinite songs, each representing a timeline, a possibility, a version of you. Your thoughts, emotions, and core assumptions are the coins you insert. They don't play the track you desire. They activate the one you match. If you keep paying with the vibration of "it's not here yet," the jukebox will keep offering you endless remixes of almost and not yet. You must insert the currency of certainty, calm, and inherent sufficiency. And here's the part most people overlook. When your inner state aligns with the frequency of already done, your mind stops hunting for proof and your body stops scanning for what's missing. In that still coherence, the field condenses the timeline into form, because you're no longer sending mixed signals. You're no longer living split between belief and doubt. You've become unified, and unification is the bridge. This is why presence isn't some spiritual slogan. It's a quantum instrument. The present moment is the only point where your signal is fully active. The past is just memory. The future is projection. But now is where vibration becomes instruction. When you learn to occupy the now as if the outcome is already real, you dissolve the entire architecture of delay. So ask yourself, what conditions am I still insisting must happen before I allow myself to feel the frequency of fulfillment? That question reveals the exact coordinates of your energetic lag. Maybe you're waiting for income to feel abundant, for validation to feel worthy, for healing to feel empowered, but the field doesn't move through conditions, it moves through coherence. And the instant you remove your conditions, resistance dissolves. You become an open circuit, receptive, steady, aligned, and suddenly life accelerates. Timelines rearrange, people respond, doors open. Not because you finally proved yourself, but because you stopped broadcasting the frequency that kept everything suspended in almost. And now you arrive at the final gateway, the living portal of transformation. Knowing the field exists is only the beginning. Understanding its mechanics is a start. But embodiment, that is where the real power begins. Right here, right now, you are invited to step fully into the miracle timeline, not as a visitor, not as a seeker, but as the one who already occupies it. After everything you've explored, you are no longer here to study the quantum. You are here to become it. Close your eyes, take a deep conscious breath in, and release it slowly. With that exhale, let every definition of yourself dissolve. Your name, your past, your roles, the stories you tell about who you are. Let them all drift away. You are no longer the person trying to fix or change. You are pure awareness, the field itself in human form. Now feel the version of yourself that has already received what you long for. Not the idea of abundance, not the concept of love or freedom, but the living, breathing, vibrational self who already exists in that reality. Sense their posture, the rhythm of their breath, the ease in their movements, the calm certainty in their energy. Let that frequency rise inside you, flowing through your body as if you are tuning every cell to match their vibration. Imagine that version stepping closer until you are face to face, and now merge fully. Step into their body. Let their confidence settle into your shoulders, their calm flow into your mind, their rhythm into your heartbeat. There is no separation, only alignment, only remembrance. Now silently declare within yourself, I no longer search. I am the signal. I no longer chase, I collapse. I no longer hope. I am. Feel the field respond, because it always does. This is the quantum law in action. The moment your inner state matches the reality you desire, the timeline condenses around you. You don't wait for it, you enter it. Next, anchor this state in action. Choose one aligned step to take today, not to force anything into existence, but to honor the version of yourself who already lives there. It could be a small decision, a different response to a situation, or an act of presence that confirms the frequency you are holding. Let your body, your choices, and your attention reflect the state you now inhabit. Breathe deeply. Feel your nervous system integrate this shift. You've just collapsed the delay. You've stepped into the timeline that was always waiting, but invisible to the old you. And the more often you return to this frequency, the more natural it becomes. Soon the miracle will feel obvious, inevitable, inseparable from who you are. That is the response of the quantum. That is coherence in action. And here's the secret many never realize. This shift is not a one-time event. Embodiment is repetition. Each return to this state strengthens your signal, rewires your body and brain, and deepens your alignment with the timeline of your desire. The more you live from this version, the less room there is for old stories of waiting, doubt, and lack. So take it further. Explore this state in stillness. Feel it while moving. Let your breath, posture, and attention continuously calibrate to the frequency of what is already done. Notice how your surroundings respond, how synchronicities unfold, how people, opportunities, and ideas seem to arrive effortlessly. Not because you earned them, but because you stop broadcasting the signal of almost, the vibration of not yet. This is not about learning more, it's about being more. It's not about chasing your desires, it's about becoming the frequency in which they already exist. The miracle was never missing. It was always pulsing just beyond your habitual perception, waiting for you to step fully into resonance. Now is the moment. Step in, breathe it in, merge fully with the version who already lives the life you long for. Anchor it with every cell of your body. Allow it to radiate from your posture, your thoughts, your heartbeat. Repeat it in stillness, in action, in reflection, in silence. This is not imagination. This is quantum reality, where being precedes becoming, in presence collapses delay. You are not attracting your future. You are tuning into it. You are the field, you are the signal, you are already there.